Hello and welcome to Passion Supernatural Podcast, the podcast where we discuss what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions. That's right, we are here to discuss the late soap opera from the 90s to 2008. That's right,
Eight.
2008. Yep,
Yeah.
1999 to 2008, which aired originally on NBC and then closed on DirecTV only on the 101. That's right. Every Sunday we air here at 2 p.m. to discuss everything. If any of you know, remember, loved, etc., the soap opera passions. Hi, I'm Joe Velasquez, host of can't even talk tonight. Host of the show here, and joining me is my lovely co-host Casey Metcalf. Casey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Been practicing full state for this weekend, so
Rolling that bowling ball down the aisle. Awesome, awesome. I've seen pictures. We should all be very proud of this young lady, people. She's doing great. I've seen pictures. She's wearing her hat. She looks great. And
my
also,
first game though,
mhm.
when I went up the bowl, I got me a strike off the bat.
Kick ass, girl. This
All
girl's on the
right.
roll. All right, all right. Also joining us today, we're very glad that she's back. We always are, is our frequent guest appearance, Acacia. How you doing, girl?
I'm good. Good, good, good.
We're glad you're back, sweetie. We always love having you on. You always, with you having your stuff with passions and everything, it's great to have you here. So once again, everybody, people, as I said earlier, we air exclusively on Sundays right on YouTube. We are free. We don't have to pay for anything like when the show moved to DirecTV. You don't have to pay. We're not on Peacock. We're not on streaming, so no need to buy a subscription for the month. We are free on YouTube. We air every Sunday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we love to discuss, as I've said several times, passions. Whether it's the actors or the show itself, the sets, the magic, you name it. We discuss it all. We're always discussing various storylines. We love the show. And all of you out there, if any of you by chance happen to be a fan of Passions and would love to actually discuss your experience with the show, please like and subscribe to our channel and just leave a name and a social media that you have in the comment sections below. Either myself or Casey, one of us is bound to reach out to you because we would love to have you on the show. We are always looking for guest appearances, and even though it's only been even though we've only done 3 so far, we do also try to get Passions actors from the show on here. If there's anybody that is available, we try to get them. It's hard work, and it takes us a while to get them, but we get them at some point. Just gives us time, unless you guys know of ways to get in touch with these people. If you guys know of ways to get in contact with people, please pass that information our way. We would love to reach out to them. We just want to have people so far. People that we can get from the show. So anyways, on for today's show and everything. Where do we begin this, ladies? Actually, I think I know of something to begin. Actually, Acacia, I just saw a video of yours or whatever for your TikTok, Justin Hartley.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so first I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't posted in forever. I need to like post something. And so I remember this interview from like, oh my gosh, years. I mean, I think it was like his first time on Soap Talk or whatever. And I just thought it would be something like kind of cool to post. The original that I saw was like really grainy and like terrible. So like luckily that was a better version of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was really cool. I mean,
Is Soap Talk even a thing anymore, or is that done?
no, it's done. So it was on SoapNet, like the channel,
And I
yeah, it was
remember
like
when
a
they
part of like the
they shut
channel.
down SoapNet because Beverly Hills 90210 was on there, and I
Oh,
remember I
every
I remember I had my parents paying this expensive money for that channel so that I could watch it. And then when Beverly Hills 90210 went off of there, I kind of stopped watching the channel and stopped watching the channel. So I basically how do I put this? I stopped watching, and my parents were like, "Why didn't you tell us that you stopped watching that? That's gonna save us money, you know." And so they canceled the channel. So yeah.
Yeah, my mom loved soap nets because like she watched All My Children and Days of, or no, not Days. She never
Hmm.
watched Days. She watched All My Children and One Life to Live. And so she would like catch up on them. And then like it always had like the old ones like Dynasty, Falcon's Crest, like Ryan's Hope, there's all of them. So my mom used to like we would just like lay around some like weekends and just like watch watch soap
Right.
operas on SoapNet. But yeah, no, he had a good interview. I think at some point I'm gonna post he and Lindsay do a good interview together. They have two interviews together, I think, and then she has one alone. And then like I mean, Whitney and Chad have been. I mean, I think it's had all of the people from Passions on at some point.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I never saw when they actually aired because I wasn't watching back in those days, but I have seen on YouTube, Eric, Liza, Sylvana, David Bradley, amazing, the original Alistair, um, think Mackenzie, I can't remember, I
yeah,
think
she's been on
Mackenzie.
there. I'm pretty sure.
Mm,
Andrea
um,
Evans, um,
yeah, I did not see Andrea.
Eva,
Brooke Kerr.
Oh, Eva did appear on there, Casey? I didn't know that Eva was on there. Um,
and
Yeah, I saw a few. I didn't see them all, but I saw a few.
Yeah, I've never
Oh,
seen. I mean,
Adrian,
I didn't see them live,
Adrian
but
was on back when he went by that name, Adrian. Back when he went by Adrian Bellani, he was on there, and so yeah.
yeah, like I didn't never watched them like live because I obviously didn't watch Passions back then. But like at that point when they were on, but
I had no idea that so much was actually going on when Passions originally started or whatever. It's like for how much I fell in love with the final seasons of Passions, and then I find on YouTube, I find like all these old bumper commercials, and I find when they aired on that and when they did other interviews, I'm like, oh man, this just, even though I never saw this stuff, it really feels like you're going back in time. It's so, oh man.
it does,
I
and it,
was
but
like, I
it's
was like,
like
I
it's
don't
so
see this for other
grainy,
soap operas.
and like it's so grainy. Like I was watching some Passions episodes, and my husband, like I was watching them on YouTube, and my husband was like, "What are you watching? Like this looks like it was like recorded on a like um camcorder or something in like not to 1990 or something, you know." And so
Right.
yeah, like super. I mean, obviously some of that is just YouTube quality, but
Hmm.
it's really funny like looking back, like even like the beginning of Passions, like the whole tabloid thing, and it's like the just like the beginning of the internet, you know, and like being able to like email, and they have these like huge laptops that are like basically suitcases, and it's like, oh my god, like this is really like you look back and it's like, oh my gosh, makes 1999 2000, gosh, it's like hard to believe it's like 26, 27 years ago. Like that's crazy.
Hmm.
So yeah, so but yeah, no, that's a new thing that I posted. Just
I just
I
came
just thought it
upon,
was
I've been on
funny.
TikTok a lot today. Yep.
I have been on not too much. I think I posted it maybe this morning. I was I'm gonna try to post a few more things in the next
And
couple
I
days.
did find this was like, I don't know, maybe like early last year, or maybe it might have been the year before. I can't remember. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore, and I can't remember if I actually saved it. But I did manage to come upon um the episode where Liza Huber appeared on the Rosie O'Donnell show or whatever, and they were discussing passions and all that. I can't remember if I downloaded it, and I don't think you can find it on YouTube anymore because that was back when, this is something that really pisses me off. You would really, 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 really think that celebrities would actually get a free pass or whatever to post whatever they want on YouTube without having to worry about copyright stuff or whatever, because Rosie O'Donnell actually tried on her own YouTube channel. She tried posting all of her olden day episodes on YouTube of when she was hosting her own show, and it was great actually seeing all the. I miss Rosie, and I love watching those old episodes and everything. But then all of a sudden, her YouTube was taken down and all that stuff or whatever. I think because of copyright, and I'm like thinking celebrities should get a free pass if they, if they hosted a show or if they did a show, they should be able to post it if they want to because it's theirs. But even they get copyright stuff on YouTube, and so yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, if I can find it, but I don't know. I think that there was a funny someone had downloaded a video or uploaded a video that I saw not too long ago, and it was I don't even know if it's still available. It was, I don't know if you remember that VH1 show, The Best Week Ever.
No.
Okay, so they had like, it was this show. It came on VH1. It was called The Best Week Ever, and it was like a recap of everything that like happened in the week or something. But they did like a funny episode that had Liza and Eric. Like the two guys, like they loved Passions. They were like, oh my gosh, like this soap opera, and it has Supernatural. And then they went into like the prop room and found like these props. And then it shows the two guys, like they're in like jeans and like t-shirts, and they go to like a dressing room and they like make some comment about like magic or supernatural, and like so they go in, and then Liza and Eric come out, and they like make out, and it's really it's funny, but yeah, it was super funny. So it's like, oh, it's probably like early 2000s. Like Liza had short hair, so probably like 2003 2004-ish era.
Right.
Passions stuff. But yeah, so that's the video. I'm gonna try to do another. I try to do a mix of like videos and then like clips from the show and then pictures. I have actually one like a montage of clips that I'm working on. It just takes some time, and I just haven't had a lot of time this last like couple weeks, but I'm trying to get back to my passions page.
Yeah. I'm still really struggling trying to find actors or whatever to appear here. I mean, again, I about like 1 or 2 weeks ago or something like that, I got a thing from Christopher Malecki, who once again said give him another 1 or 2 weeks and then contact him. He's just going to be busy for a few weeks. But other than that, I'm like literally feeling like I've run out of people. Casey, I still haven't heard back from Dylan. It's surprising that ever since the day we spoke, he's gone so quiet on me. I've sent him a few emails trying not to come off as a stalker or anything like that, so I try not to go crazy, but ever since the day he and I spoke, I haven't really heard from him and all that or whatever, but I'm like starting to wonder, how am I gonna do this? This is so difficult to actually be able to find celebrities to appear on here and everything. Like I said, I don't know how to get these people's managers. I mean, ugh. If somebody
And
had the,
also,
huh?
I saw Eva made a video on Instagram earlier
I
today.
saw that earlier myself.
Yeah.
Like, again, if somebody actually had the money and wanted to do the IMDb thing and try to use that, that would be great. I don't have the money, but if
How much
some,
is it?
I forget. I don't remember how much it is, to be honest. I just don't have any money, period. But if somebody had the money, could get an IMDb, I think it's called IMDb Pro or something like that, then they could actually get contact information with all of these people or whatever, I'm sure we could get some people then to have like a monthly subscription of IMDb or something Pro. I mean, I just don't have the money to get it myself. But, um, oh crap, now we're on dead silence here.
So I will say, so I did actually fairly decent this week and actually watched a few more episodes of Passions.
Great, good.
Yes. I'm still in the 500s, and like realistically, I feel like, so I'm still in Bermuda. I feel like Bermuda probably goes on for probably like, I assume at the pace that it's going, probably like 30 more episodes. Like that's what I would assume. I assume it's probably like a month's worth of
I
like
wasn't
them in
watching
Bermuda.
back then, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. but I just have a feeling at the pace that it's going, it's going to be another, maybe not. It might be, you know, another 10 or 15, but they're still in Bermuda, and Teresa is in Julian's room, which, so like this whole thing, like watching, like I knew the storyline, watching it, maybe it's like I just look at it from my like 2025, 2026 lens, also therapist lens, and it just gives me the ick so bad, like that she's like 18 and he's Julian, he's old as hell, and he's like, you
Yeah, it
know,
seems
like
like
come back to my
Julian. Yeah,
room, and she's
yeah,
like, you
Julian
know, I'm not old
really.
enough to drink, and he's like, oh well, if you want to convince me to adopt Ethan again, like you should have a drink with me. And it's very like double, like what is that word, like a double entendre, is that what it's called, like when it's like two meanings for something. um but like she'll say stuff like, if I have to like work all night to convince you to take Ethan back or to adopt Ethan, and he's like, you might be working on that, you know, like it's just very like gives me the ick. And like I have to like I've had to kind of like fast forward, not fast forward because I also like watch them, but like I've had to kind of like really background noise it because it just doesn't
It's
sit right with
gross. I
me.
know.
It just
That's
really
how
irks
Julian
me.
was. That's how Julian was pretty much even when he started to semi redeem himself. He was still like that. Me and Casey, I remember us watching the final season, and I mean, I mean, you haven't met this woman yet, Esme yet. You haven't met Esme yet, but when Esme comes on, it's just like seeing her with Julian. It's just, it's just so
It's
sick
just,
and everything because of their age difference and all that and everything, you know. And it just kind of shocks me that Julian actually managed to get away with all these. I mean, okay, yeah, they're all adults, but still younger
it's
women.
still like just really like, well, Teresa's like a teenager, like she's like 18,
I mean,
like
Ivy and Eve were like probably the best to line up with him, if you know what I mean. Ivy and Eve or whatever. They really were like right up there. And maybe even if they didn't look it, they were still the most proper age. So
yeah, definitely more appropriate. I so the Bermuda with Julian and Teresa hooking up because like I think we find out eventually that they don't hook up, but you know, like it just irks me. It irks me. It gives me the ick. Um, the guys, like the old men, they irk
But
me. They just piss me off because they're just like dirty old men. Um, but so yeah, so that's my take of where I'm at. The like Simone and Kay and Miguel and all of them, they're at like Warlock Island. Um, and that, I don't know, that storyline is kind of like, I'm it just never got me super, you know, like Kay is like convinced that she's gonna sleep with Miguel in the tent and like get pregnant, and he's gonna obviously like love her. And
yeah.
I'm like, gosh, if it was just that easy, right? Like
No, like I said, I think we're I mean I I don't know if you're at the spot yet or whatever. I really don't know if you're at the spot yet or whatever, but just wait until you end up when you end up at the spot where Teresa finds out that little Ethan like isn't Julian or Julian's or whatever, and that he's actually Ethan's, and then from that moment on, all the way basically to the end, it's the same plot for the rest of the series, if you know what I mean, is basically telling Ethan that little Ethan is his biological son and
it,
everything. That becomes the big thing to the end.
I've seen
and
like
she was
parts of
trying,
it. Oh, sorry, Casey, what were you saying? Sorry.
like she was trying to tell Ethan about little Ethan. Every time she tried to tell Ethan that, something comes up on the show.
And so
Like
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces. Like I know, like I've seen the part where like he's in the hospital. I assume it's like maybe the poison strawberries or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
I was
Gwen
watching
comes
during.
in with Jonathan, and she's like, well, don't like little Ethan and Jonathan kind of like they look alike, like they could be siblings, you know? And I mean, it's just like, I was like, please just spit it out, Teresa. Like, your little Ethan's dad. And actually, what always like kind of got me, and maybe I don't know, I'm not that far along to like to when she gets pregnant or when she like finds out that she's pregnant. But like, how did Ethan never like? Did he ever question that little Ethan could potentially be his? Because like, it's like he also hooked up with her like the day of their wedding. Like this all happened in a really short time frame where like she sleeps with him the day of their wedding. Their wedding doesn't happen. That like next day, she's like, I'm gonna go to Bermuda and convince Julian to take Ethan to adopt him. And then I would assume like it's kind of like the next day or like a day or two later, and she is sleeps with Julian. And so like I don't know. Like, why didn't Ethan, like, did Ethan ever question, like, oh, could little Ethan actually be my kid? Or, like, definitely this is Julian's kid? Like, I don't know. I always thought that was kind of weird, too, because you can
It,
kind of
I
track
I'll
pregnancy
be honest,
fairly easily.
I'm still to this day. I mean, I remember mentioning this to Casey. I'm still very, 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 very again, you're not there yet, but I'm still very, 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 very confused how Jonathan came about or whatever because I mean, you're right. Like the little bit that you've seen, Ethan was in the hospital, and here's Teresa trying to tell him the truth. And then all of a sudden, Gwen shows up with this baby. And I'm like thinking to myself, where in the hell did he come from? What did she steal the kid? I don't remember her giving birth to Jonathan. Where in the world did Jonathan come from? And it's never like said, if you know what I mean. I keep thinking, did she like just happen to see a baby somewhere in the hospital, steal it, and then pass it off as Ethan's? I can't make that part out. I've been looking it up like crazy. I
I
don't
feel like
remember Gwen ever coming back being pregnant, so.
I feel like I talked to someone about this, maybe in one of the groups or something. But I feel like Jonathan was a plot hole, and I think that if the show would have went longer, I think we may have found out that Jonathan like wasn't Ethan's. But I honestly think that that whole storyline was like a plot hole because I feel like they built the whole like from like this after Sarah's death to basically Jonathan appearing was like, Gwen, you can't have kids. Like, you're infertile. You're barren. Like, I mean, how many times did Teresa say, like, you're barren? Like, she, like, I think even when she comes back with this baby, Teresa's like, you're barren. Like, Gwen's barren. Like, how does she have this baby? So I honestly think that Jonathan was a plot hole and that, like, they just didn't have the time to wrap up because
Mhm.
I think that we would have found out eventually that, like, Jonathan wasn't
Yeah, because Ethan
um
really does. Because Ethan actually, he goes through the whole time. He takes Jonathan in, and at the very, very, very end, he vows, we're gonna have a family with little Ethan and Jane and Jonathan as well. And I'm like, I still don't know where did this kid come from. So
yeah,
I don't
I'm
remember
very
Gwen coming back pregnant. I don't remember her giving birth. She just shows up and she's got this infant.
now I was Liza actually like pregnant and that was this how they wrote her off the show for that time being while she was
I
pregnant or
I
no?
don't really remember, to be totally honest, because because again, I know I came in around then, but again, it's just my memory is so terrible. I really don't remember very
I feel
much
like she
from
was pregnant possibly because I feel like she looked pregnant in there were some like because I assume this was like what 2006 2007
it
maybe
was well,
ish.
I started again. I think it was either season 6 or season 7. It was one of the two because then I remember it was not very long after I started that it was announced that it was moving to DirecTV, which would turn out to be season 8 and would turn out to be the final season. So it was
Yeah,
either
I think
6 or
that
7 when I
Jonathan
started.
was his reveal wasn't that like the last episode that it was on NBC and then it
Seems like
flipped
that. I
over.
remember me and Casey even saw that one together. So when we were watching it together, so it seems like it was that.
So I feel like Liza was like pregnant in real life, and I think that like they because I feel like okay, so I haven't gotten to those episodes yet, but I feel like I read a spoiler or something that like maybe it shows like she takes like a pregnancy test or something, and then she like leaves town to for something, which I think was her leaving because of her, like, she actually being pregnant.
why do I remember something or get a feeling or had a feeling or something that Gwen left the show because she was fed up with Ethan and she was finally done. She smashed his ring, tired of catching him with Teresa, so she just left. And then her return was that she had like changed her mind or something like that, and that she was. But by that point, Ethan had already moved on with Teresa, and then Gwen's
So that
whole.
was also, that did happen. That was with, I remember that was with Jared, because Ethan had the, whoever the blackmailer or whatever was, like, put
The whole Vincent thing,
the
yeah.
whatever to, like, tell him to go sleep with Teresa, and Jared found, Jared and Gwen, I think, found Ethan in bed with Teresa, and it was like this whole thing where Teresa was like, "I thought I was with you, Jared," and Ethan's like, "I have no
I
idea how I got
definitely remember
here." And
that.
then Teresa, or Gwen, because I remember Gwen says something that is so funny to me. She said something like, I think Jared like punches Ethan, and she's like, "Oh, I should go get my mom's like brass knuckles, and you can like punch him again or something." I just remember thinking that was like so funny. Like, finally Gwen toughens up and like is, you know, I mean, Liza's Gwen was always really scrappy and like fought like Teresa constantly, but I just thought that was, to me, that was just hilarious, that
Yeah,
line.
I definitely remember that stuff. Like I told you before, originally I was
I
rooting for
remember
Jared.
it.
Huh?
I remember that part.
No, like I said,
Yeah.
originally I was rooting for Jared. I did want Teresa with Jared, but it wasn't until Jared got written off that I started rooting for Ethan. And then I came to realize, yeah, okay, she's better with Ethan. Okay.
I always cheer for Ethan and Teresa. I liked that Teresa dated other people. Like, I liked her Fox era. I liked her
I did
Jared
not see
era.
her with Fox, but I knew that she was with him. I only saw her with Jared. And again, I started when, again, Kay was choosing between Fox and Miguel and all that. So by the time I started, it was basically Jared proposing to Teresa and all that or whatever. And then, yeah, I didn't really know everything that happened beforehand. I didn't know who Ethan was. I didn't know all that stuff. Now I do.
Yeah, no, I liked her era with different people. I loved her obviously with um her and Fox. I don't think they ever like actually hooked up. I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't think they ever hooked up on the show, but they were like they were like very flirty and cute, and like I remember the LA dance that they do together, which was super hot. And so yeah, I liked her Fox era. I liked her Jared era. Obviously the we knew that Ethan and Teresa were like meant to be fate.
Like I said, it's
The
the
show
only
was going to
soap
end with
opera.
them, but
Like I said, it's the only soap opera that actually has one specific couple being the main characters from beginning to end. Any other soap opera changes, or the actors choose to leave, or something like that, not passions. It was Ethan and Teresa from the very first episode all the way to the end. It's the only
see, I
one
feel
I've
like
ever
they
heard.
couldn't have done that where they couldn't have not given us Ethan and Teresa, because they started so like at the beginning was like Ethan and Teresa and like showing like, oh my god, they're so in love, and then like they get torn apart, and then so I feel like there was no like universe where they could have not had them end up together, even if like Lindsay left the show or Eric left the show and they had to totally recast and the show went on for however
Well,
long.
again,
Like,
they had to replace Ethan because Travis left, so yeah.
yeah, like I think that even like if they had to replace the main, like, who the original people, I think they would have, Ethan and Teresa would have ended up together no matter what. But then also, not gonna lie, that's how I felt about Louise and Sheridan, that they would definitely end up together, and
Like I said, you're
usually that
really,
doesn't
I'm
happen.
sorry, I don't care. I just, you really got to get to Luis and Fancy. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. I don't
See,
care.
I need you to watch from episode one. Like, I need you to start from the beginning so you can
Well,
see
like I said, I've
the
definitely seen
love.
the first three, four, five episodes. I've definitely seen the first few. I've seen
Yeah,
what
but they
Luis
like
and
didn't like
Sheridan
each other
started
in those
off like.
episodes.
Huh?
That doesn't count. They didn't like each other in those episodes. Like, the first
Right.
few episodes, Luis and Sheridan like did not like each other. But like,
I did not see the very, very, very first episode where they actually are together in love, or even when they started falling for each other. I did not see any of that.
You
But
haven't seen them do the tango, like,
oh
oh, the
well,
what do they do, the
The
tango, or
tango.
is it the paso doble, or I forgot. Is it the tango?
Yeah, the
it's the
Is it
tango,
the
yeah.
tango.
tango? Okay, yeah, like they do the
Yeah, because
tango.
it's a tango because Luis even teaches Fancy how to do it, and when Sheridan sees them doing her dance, she's pissed, and that's even
And,
Oh,
on
that
and,
ruins it now. I'm like mad.
that
and
even
Sheldon
it,
was
yeah.
thinking about, when she saw them two doing it, she was thinking about killing Princey, um, with the, Sissel or something, with Sissel was
I do not
daydreaming
remember
about
that.
killing
I don't
Fancy
remember that.
failed something, and then it wasn't Fancy, it was Louise that fell into it. And
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I was actually going to bring that up. That was a dream, actually. That was a
yeah,
dream, actually.
she
No,
was
it was, and it was
thinking,
also because
mm,
on the day of on the day of Luis and Fancy's wedding, before they get married, Sheridan basically lures Luis outside, and she begs him as a last request, if they can't be together, would they dance the tango together one last time? And Luis is like, fine, but let's get this over with. I've got to get back inside to Fancy. And they start to do a tango or whatever together.
yeah,
And Sheridan has this dream or whatever. That Sheridan has this dream or whatever because she's so furious that Luis is about to marry Fancy and everything. She has a dream that she pushes Luis onto this pair of garden shears or whatever, and then he comes down, and we actually think it's real originally. We actually think that Luis is basically dead, that these garden shears have gone right through his chest or whatever, but then it turns out it was all in Sheridan's mind
that was
that he
cool.
was
Mm.
thinking that. So yeah, that was like I'm sorry, but no, I will always root for Fancy. I loved Sheridan when her time with Luis was going on. I thought they were cute, but when Fancy comes along, I just she's just so much like a princess. She really, really is. I can't see Sheridan like that. I don't care if she had a relationship with Princess Diana. I don't care if all that stuff. Fancy really, really, really was like this adorable, youthful, young, innocent blonde princess, whereas Sheridan, even from the very, very, very beginning, she was always just crying all the time. She was a whiner. It seemed like she was. I mean, Fancy was this too, but I think that Sheridan in the beginning was it more and everything. I mean, heck, at least Fancy actually defended herself and everything because Fancy became a cop and all that stuff, whereas Sheridan usually became a damsel in distress and
So
everything was
yes and
always,
no. So I feel like with Sheridan, like Sheridan was like a total badass up
yeah,
until I feel like up until, and I'm not this far along, but I have watched these episodes for another Passions podcast that I was on, and it's like around the 900. So it's like, oh, shortly after the wedding, and I don't know if like there's a boat explosion or something like that, and she like goes into this like being Diana type thing, and like I feel like that's when like they almost like change her like whole personality. Like she is like very like, oh no, like even like the wedding to Antonio where she's like, oh, like Luis, like I just want him to like save me, and like because I want to marry Luis,
mhm,
not Antonio, and like she's very like like very damsel in distress, like very like she has like no agency of her own. Um, but I feel like prior to that, like Sheridan was like a badass. Like she was like fight like what was the scene where she talks about having like a black belt or something like that, and she's fighting the Luis lookalike, like the girl who it's I don't know if you haven't seen it, then it's kind of hard to explain. They had this
yeah.
Luis lookalike or whatever who had like this mask on, and they wanted Sheridan to believe that Luis was like cheating on her with this other woman, and that he was like
Mm.
violent, and it was all a scheme of Julian and Alistair's. Um, and but like she like kicks this girl's ass. Like she's like, I'm a black belt. Like she's just very like badass. And then we get a whole like total flip in her whole personality after this boat explosion. And I wish that they would have like explained like, oh, she has a TBI, or she has like some kind of mental illness going on or something. But to like totally just change how she interacts with with everyone, like her, you know, is like, I don't know. I didn't love that. But all
Hmm.
that being said, is I obviously haven't gotten to Fancy and Luis. That's really far down the line. I remember Fancy when she came onto the show and she was like Paris
That's
Hilton
right.
type
When
deal.
she comes on, I believe she is accompanied with Esme, and and shortly when she arrives, she ends up meeting Noah, and Noah
Yeah, I
is
remember them
the thing.
together. I remember them together. I don't remember ever like Noah and Paloma being together.
Yeah,
Paloma, I feel
they
like
were a
around the
couple.
time I
So.
stopped watching, Paloma was like dancing on tables and like rebelling against like, Pilar and like why did you send me to Mexico type deal.
Paloma was
Um
another one. Yeah, Paloma was another one that well, I mean it's obvious because of the cast change and all that stuff, but it seems like when the cast change happened, her personality completely changed and everything. That seems to really happen a lot of the times whenever there is a cast change. Personalities change as well. Because with Paloma, again, we all know Sylvana is Paloma. It's like even Dylan Fergus even says that. He was like Anya, well, she was a replacement, but Sylvana, that's how he told me. But Sylvana was just she started off again. I didn't see her very first appearance when I first started watching the show. Her and Noah, I believe, were when I first started the show. I believe that they were kind of trying to figure out ways to help Jessica, and then it eventually led to their very first kiss, and then they started getting in bed together, and then they became in love and all that stuff. But anyways, from what I understand, when Paloma very first came on, I really don't know very much. I know that, like you mentioned, I know that she was pretty upset with Pilar an awful lot and everything for this and that and this and that. And I know that she was doing dancing an awful lot and stuff like that. And then there was the moment where she actually was in distress because she almost got raped by some guy at the Blue Note or something like that or
yeah, I remember
whatever, and
that.
she managed to somehow get away when the police showed up and all that stuff. But then later on, she became a cop herself and all that. Again, I didn't see her with the guy that I was telling you about. The guy that there was another guy who proposed to her, and she turned down his proposal, and then he comes back in the final season, and then is pretty much quickly written off or whatever. He basically just shows up in the end to be sort of a coil in Noah and Paloma's relationship, basically trying to break them up and trying to get her back and everything, and then he's very quickly written off in like a out of nowhere way. But anyway, I didn't see when she was with him to begin with, but then, like I said, then she became a cop, which I loved. So she was working alongside Luis, her brother and sister being cops and all that, and she she was the one that actually had to arrest Noah, at one point when Spike basically accused Noah of assault or something like that for attacking him or whatever, because Noah was the one that threw the first punch and not Spike. So Spike filed charges and Sam ordered Paloma to do it and all that. And that I think that was when Paloma very first started to have romantic feelings for Noah, because she arrested him and everything, and then she started talking to him when putting him in his cell and all that stuff. It's so cute or whatever. It's so incredibly cute just seeing that smile on her face and how she admits that she really likes Noah and all that stuff. And then it turns, but then in the beginning, you also have to remember that in the beginning with Noah and Paloma was that the biggest thing a number of people, I don't remember exactly who. I know Simone was one of them, but a number of people were telling Paloma that Noah was like way too old for Paloma and everything. But Paloma was like, I don't think so. I think he is exactly the right age, or whatever. And so I find that so incredibly cute. And then there was even a time where even Noah had difficulties being with Paloma, even though he wanted to. And here Paloma was wanting him to make love to her and make out with her and all that, but he kept pulling away. And she's like, if you say that you're too old for me one more time, or whatever, she just
How
gets so
old was
irritated.
Paloma supposed to be? Like,
I don't know, but she was obviously an adult or whatever because there was no charges of statutory rape. There was no like being with a minor. There was no none of that. She was obviously old enough to be with him. I think there just might have been maybe like something of an older age limit, but I don't know. I'm not entirely
I feel
sure
like
how old.
Passions always does it. So I think we talked about it last time where Passions like is so ambiguous with ages. Like you context clues will like tell you sometimes how old someone is, but it's
It's
always like
like
super
yeah,
ambiguous.
I mentioned this before that Paloma is the youngest daughter of the Lopez Fitzgeralds, whereas
Hmm.
Miguel is the youngest son. So, and Luis is the oldest of the men. So, but anyways, all that went on and everything, and then of course it eventually led to Noah and Paloma forming a beautiful, romantic, oh man, very, very just wonderful romance and everything that made them my favorite couple. And then when the show moved to DirecTV, Silvana left and Anya Geelan took over, and that was when, even though they were still my favorite couple, they remained my favorite couple to the end. It just wasn't the same because once again, I repeat, it was like when she left, Paloma's personality changed as well to where number one, she seemed like she was a bit older and everything. Just take a look at the two and everything, and Anya definitely looks older than Sylvana. But to go along with that, she also turned into something of a stick in the mud and everything. There was like several times, like that was the time when Noah and Paloma started to break up and everything, and here's Noah chasing after her. You were looking for that or whatever. Like I said, you were wanting that, where a guy was chasing after a woman instead of a woman chasing after a guy. Well, Noah and Paloma become that in the final season. And she becomes so stubborn, and whenever she was with Noah, she was a lot more sexier played by Anya, whereas Sylvana was more cute. Anya was like literally like, oh my god, shake that ass and everything, like literally. I
Mm.
mean, she would actually, take Noah out onto the dance floor and stuff like that, or whatever, and was really, really being all sexy and saucy and wanting to make love with him and all that, like a totally different Paloma. But like I said, at the same time, they turned her into somebody stubborn, and you were like, oh, come on, Paloma, seriously. I remember Casey and we were like, oh my god, would you lighten up already? Like I said, they were still my favorite couple, but I felt like the chemistry that Sylvana and Dylan had was just gone or whatever. Anya was good with what she had to work with, but the personality of Paloma was completely changed.
Different.
So
Yeah.
she wasn't a bad casting. She did great, but she just wasn't the same. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Paloma was another one like that. It seems like that happens a good number of times. I mean, like you said, I don't know very much about Sheridan, like in the past. By the time I started watching, Fancy had already appeared and was already with Luis, and Sheridan was already chasing out, trying to break them up to get Luis back and everything. So Sheridan was practically already something of a villain when I started watching, so I didn't really see her times prior to villainy, I guess I'll call it. But yeah. So I really don't know. There's a number of characters I don't know very much about or whatever. Like I said, I've seen clips. I've watched from the beginning, like about the first 4, 5, 6 episodes. I haven't really gone very far. It's just like I said, I can't watch it alone. I need somebody to watch it with me. I can't just sit there, and I need somebody to help explain things to me. I need someone to, well,
Yeah.
enjoy it with me. So,
Hmm.
yeah, kind of like the way how Casey and you and I, we were just loving it. So that's what I need. I need somebody who will love it with me. I can't sit and watch it by myself. So,
Because you'd be like, what happened there? What's going on
exactly.
there?
And you've been watching it since the beginning, so you may remember quite a number of things. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, but no, going back to what we were saying, no, I just like I said, I don't know very much about Sheridan, but it ain't gonna change anything. Fancy to me belongs with Luis. They were just so, and I don't really understand why exactly Luis and Fancy got so much hate. I mean, I get it that Sheridan started off with him, but come on. I mean, Kay and Miguel get more support than Luis and Fancy do. And a lot of people wanted Miguel to end up with Charity, but still Kay and Miguel still have supporters, whereas I can't really think of very many Luis and Fancy supporters. I'm like,
I
what the
think you're like
hell?
one of the only ones. I think there maybe have been some people who commented on my like posts on TikTok who maybe have been Team Fancy and Luis, but to me, like Passions had like these couples that like you knew were like supposed to be together. Like it was Luis and Sheridan, Ethan and Teresa, and then in the end, Kay and Miguel. And so then it's like we got Kay and Miguel, we got Ethan and Teresa, and then we didn't get Sheridan and Luis. And so I feel like
Well,
that is why the fan base or a lot of fans are like, we're like, what the fuck? Because
well,
they should
I
have, that, but, and I think
I don't
to
know. I mean,
me,
I don't
I
really
like,
see it that way. I don't really see it that way because from what I've seen with the fan base, from what I've always seen with the fan base, yes, like I said, Kay and Miguel definitely have their supporters, but and everybody wanted Ethan with Teresa. But the way that I've always seen the fan base, it was basically Ethan and Teresa, Miguel and Charity, uh Noah and Fancy, Luis and Sheridan, if you know what I mean. That's basically what
I
it
like
was.
Noah and Fancy. I see, I don't, I, I am have just been introduced to Charity. Like I said, I didn't start watching it back in the day until, oh my gosh, like 2004. So she was gone by the time I started watching it. I don't even know if Luis was on there or not Luis. I'm sorry. I don't even know if Miguel was really on there much. I remember it was what's his name was the second. I
Adrian
didn't watch
Bellani
it.
was he went by Adrian
Yeah.
Bellani back then, but now he's Gerardo something. I can't
Yeah, I didn't
remember.
watch it when Jesse
Jesse.
Metcalf was Miguel. But Charity, I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like when I like ask about it on TikTok, a lot of people are Kay and Kay and Miguel fans and like hated
Mm.
Charity. Like, yeah, I mean, I hated Charity, but like she was just super whiny and like super like woe is me and like
Well, I found
oh
Charity extremely romantic and everything, and just oh my God, Molly Stanton, oh my God,
she's
she literally
beautiful.
is God's beauty from heaven. She's just so incredibly beautiful and all of that. Man, I would love to get her on here, and all that or whatever. But no, I just, and a lot of people were actually against her being with Kay because of all the bad things that Kay did to get Miguel and all that stuff, such as, raping him to have his child and all that kind of stuff, and trying to kill Charity and all this kind of stuff or whatever. I pretty much just root for Kay to be with Miguel, and I'm glad they got together because Kay saw him first. He was she was in love with him before Charity came along, and if Charity had never came to Harmony, Miguel would have asked her out. He even said so himself. So I say that
Mhm.
just I love Charity to bits, and I thought they were very very romantic and cute together while they were together, but they just weren't meant to be is all. So
Yeah, I
so
agree.
that's
I
why
definitely
I
think that
and
they
that's why
weren't.
I just always rooted for the way the show ended, all of the couples. I liked the way the show ended with all the couples, whereas most people hated that way. And so I just, yeah, yeah.
So maybe I'll change. Who knows? I may change my mind as I
I
get to
so
one
hope
day
you
when I
do
get
because I
to the
would love
end.
to. I hope so because I would love to actually know a fellow Lancey fan in the world, if you know what I mean,
I'm
instead
not
of
gonna
being.
lie to you. I don't know that I'm gonna be a Lancey fan because I'm already not. But maybe as I watch the show, I liked Fancy. I liked Louise. I don't know that I liked them together. I actually, when I read spoilers, before I even started rewatching the show, I was shocked that they didn't end like that. I was shocked that they ended up together. Um, and I was like, I had to like reread it a few times. Like, wait, what? Like, Sheridan didn't end up with Louise. I think it sucked. She ended up with, I think, Antonio, right? Is who she
Antonio.
ended up married to.
Mackenzie
Which,
didn't like that neither.
yeah, I think there was some drama with that, with this them as like people outside of the show. But obviously, I don't know that, so I'm not going to say it. But I've
Sure.
heard rumblings that they had some difficult times together as actors on the show. Um, but yeah, no, I we'll see. I'm gonna keep watching.
The sooner, like I
Yeah,
said, the later you get into the series, the more I'm gonna get excited because again, that's my seasons. The later you get
yeah,
into
I am. I can't
seasons
wait to get
six
to
and
the
seven.
2003, 2004, like kind of where I like stopped when I was, or like around where I stopped when I back. It was like 14, 15, 14, 15, something like that. Um, because I feel like I can't wait for LA. I think that LA is like peak Passion's
They
time, in
still
my
where you
opinion.
are. I really don't think they have. They still haven't revealed Alistair, right?
Nope, Alistair is still just a pair of hands and a voice.
Okay, all right. So you're still on Alan Oppenheimer, who was somebody that I had asked to be on the show, and he said no.
He
So
said no.
yep, he's the only
Yeah,
one that has said no. There have been others that have said that they would get back to me and didn't, or they said they would think about it, or they've said yes. He's the only one that actually said no. So,
yeah, which makes sense. But yeah, so he is just hands and a voice right now.
mhm.
Um, I do know like he kind of gets revealed around when Teresa like gets pregnant with little Ethan or like gets the electric chair or something like that. I don't think I'm too far away from that, but I
Wasn't
mean, I'm.
that? Wait, I thought that that was his recast when that happened, though. I thought that he came
Oh, is
on.
it? It may.
Well, I
It
could
totally
swear
may
it
be.
was because I know that David Bailey, who I much prefer as Alistair, I much prefer the original David Bailey. Oh, again, nothing against John Riley, nothing against John Riley, but just nothing against him. He was an awesome Alistair, and he stayed in the rest of the way. But David Bailey was just much more rough, and he was just much more of this monster, whereas John Riley was just playing like a typical mob boss and everything. That's been way overdone. I've seen so many bad guys play their role as mob bosses and everything, and I'm like, this first Alistair is like grrr and everything. You don't want to mess with him. So whereas John Riley was all quiet and everything, and like that kind of way and everything. So yeah, I prefer David Bailey, but I thought he was only on for like I think 4 or 5 episodes before he drowned in his swimming pool, and then they had to recast the character, and then came John Riley, and he stayed to the end. So I thought that it was John Riley who was there around the time of Teresa's execution. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty
I
sure.
have no idea. I don't remember. I feel like I saw a clip of
Like
it.
I
I
said,
don't
yeah,
think it was John Riley, but I'm not for sure.
because again, you have to remember that it's during Teresa's execution that is Eric's first appearance. So
I
Yep.
I remember reading that. So I'm like really excited to get to Eric. I mean, I love
yeah,
Travis. I think
again,
he's a great Ethan, but
I mean, like I said again, it's well, no, he's the best Ethan. What do you mean? It's just, but all the same or
Yeah.
whatever. Is that again? It's just like I might have mentioned this. It's like I said before or whatever. I mean, Eric Martsolf has actually said on his first day, he's like, okay, who's being killed and who do I love? The girl right there in the gurney, Annabelle Lecter over there being executed. I'm like, oh my god, some way to start your show. And it really, really, really shocks me for how talented he is that he's only done 2 soap operas. I can't get over that. That dude should have like a freaking career in soap operas. I mean,
but it seems like he went from like Passion's ending right into Days and just kind of stayed with Days,
it
which
was
makes
kind of like that
sense.
with him and Galen. It was kind of like that with him and Galen because Lindsay didn't join Days until later, but because she was a recast, but and a better one for that matter. But I mean, and Eric was a recast too. But I mean, he was like Brady hadn't been on the show for a while, according to Eric. Um, him going into Days, he had originally auditioned, wouldn't you know it? He had originally auditioned for Rafe, who is Galen's character, but
Oh.
he didn't know that the character of Rafe Hernandez was actually Rafael Hernandez. If he had known that, he never would have tried out or whatever. Rafe is just for short. The full name is Rafael or whatever. It's Mexican. So Eric didn't know that. If he had known that, but then they saw his audition. They saw his audition. They thought, hey, why don't we bring Brady back? He'd be great for Brady, or whatever. And so, and Eric has even said or whatever, because both the soap operas that he has done, he recast both roles and everything. He said that he would love to be able to actually play a character where he could create a role instead of taking over a role. And he said that it seems like whenever they're doing a soap opera, it seems like whenever they want to bring a character back from the dead, or they want to bring a character back and they can't get the original back, they're like, call Martzoff, he'll do it, or something. So I'm like, yeah, it does seem like that. And I myself seem to have kind of with me being an actor myself, not exactly on screen, but I'm on the stage, I seem to have had a similar experience as Eric, because this one theater that I did, it was at a college that unfortunately doesn't do community theater anymore. It seems like after COVID they closed down their community theater. Good thing I don't live there anymore, so I don't have to worry about what I'm missing. But I did 3 shows with them, and it was so incredibly weird. I went through a very similar experience as Eric did with his 2 roles, because I did Annie, Peter Pan, and Evita with them. And for both Annie and Evita, I started off as basically nothing. I basically started off in the show in the shows as basically like no lines, nothing really important. But then later on, when some people had backed out, and then in Peter Pan's case, one actor ended up injuring himself, and so the director was like, he's my first choice, bring him in, let him do it. And so I ended up taking over for both shows, but then finally for Evita, the character that I ended up getting, I stayed with to the end or whatever. So once again, I've kind of followed in Eric Martzoff's shoes on the stage. Whenever they need to replace an actor, they're like, call Velasquez, he'll do it. So, but yeah, so it's just like I said, it just shocks me that he hasn't had a bigger career in soaps. He's only done 2, so wow. And like I said, you really ought to see what he is doing on Days right now. He's really like, oh man, has he come a long way? And man, is he dark. He is definitely dark compared to Ethan. I mean, right now, I don't think it's really any spoiler to give away or whatever, but right now, he's kind of having something of a romance. That's the thing about poor Brady with Eric. Unlike Ethan, who basically was fighting between Ethan and Gwen, and then in Vicky's mind, Esme, and all that stuff. Whereas poor Brady here, he may get the ladies, but he just can't keep them, or whatever. They're all dying on him, or they're all leaving the show, or something like that. It's like Eric has said, he basically went from being Brady Black to Brady Black Widow.
I've seen so many comments on like Lindsay's ex where people are like, oh my gosh, like maybe they can put you back as was she like Ariana or something like that?
It was Ariana, yeah, but she was a better
like,
Ariana too.
Bring you back, original. So like it has have you like have been locked away in a basement, or like like for years, well, or something like that. I feel like
unfortunately they actually saw Ariana get killed. It wasn't like she disappeared. She got hit by a car and she died in the hospital or whatever. So they actually saw her get killed. So them saying that she was held hostage all this time wouldn't work. I've actually have said to a few friends of mine who are fans of Days, I have actually said that now that they have that freaking drug that can bring people back to life, they ought to use it on Ariana. But some of my friends have said that Ariana has been away for so long that nobody would remember her and everything.
Yeah, that's been really long. I feel like Lindsay also has like moved on to past soap operas. I mean, seemingly, she does a lot of directing Hallmark and Lifetime movies and all that good stuff. But yeah, so they
Yeah.
would have another Ariana maybe, but
Well, they already right now on the show they already have an Ariana, but it's not the same Ariana.
isn't it
Basically,
the daughter, like the
she
isn't like
basically
someone's
it's
daughter named after her?
basically Ariana's sister Gabby had a baby and wanted to name her daughter after her
Yeah,
sister.
that's
So
what
they
I remember reading that because I was gonna
She
watch
just
the.
got a
Let's see.
recast too. That Ariana, she just got a recast. The original left the show, and so now they have a new Ariana. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's so life. It feels like.
exactly, that is the soap life indeed. Yes, but um, so yeah, I mean, it's um, that's all of it. Yeah, but I mean, and no, I mean, Eric and Galen are obviously, not only do they star on Days together, but they're also incredibly close as well. Eric has actually said that they both have um a good number of things in common. I mean, they both, they both got cast on Days of Our Lives together. They both had twin boys together. They both, I
They
think
was
they
on
got, I think,
Passions together.
huh?
They was on Passions
Well,
together too.
but that was a little bit different because Galen had been on Passions longer than Eric. Eric came in later, whereas they both were cast on Days of Our Lives around the same time, and they both had twin boys together. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they might have gotten married around the same time to their spouses. I don't know for sure on that one, but I think they did. So and they are good buddies and everything, and I love that. And like I said, it's kind of cool that I've actually met them both. I met them in person separate times, but I've met them on those Zoom chats or whatever, those Zoom get-togethers. I've met them together there and everything, which was great and everything. And I know that Eric Martzoff really, really, really badly wants Lindsay Hartley back on Days of Our Lives because he was not neither he nor Lindsay were happy that Lindsay was fired and everything. They didn't like it how she got fired. They didn't like it that she was fired. They really wanted her to stay. Lindsay was even more heartbroken when she found out that the character was being killed off. I mean, being fired is one thing, but to find out that the character was being killed off, that really hurt her. So Eric has actually said a good number of times that he would really love to be able to have her back on. So,
Yeah, that would
um,
be
I,
awesome.
I
I might
still
start
think,
watching if Lindsay ended up back on there, but
yeah, I mean, I still say, I know that, because again, hardly, not very many people remember her because she had been away for so long. I still say that she was his best girl. I still say out of all the girls that he's been with, Ariana is the best. And it's not because it's Lindsay and Eric again. No, 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 no. There was just something about the couple, if you know what I mean. There was just something about the two that really, really, really was just beautiful or whatever. And so, but anyways, you know what, people? Hey, that's the end of another episode. We made it through a whole hour, folks. We did it. All right, all right, all right. Okay, people, all of you listening in, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Passion Supernatural Podcast. Once again, Eric, if you missed today or whatever, that's okay. You can tune in next weekend. We will be back to discuss more stuff about Passions. Acacia, I believe you'll be with us again, right?
yes,
Next
I will
weekend?
be.
That's great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And shortly after that episode, Casey here, our beloved Casey, she's got something coming up for her. I mean, she's headed for the out of state or something like that, headed for the state, whatever the word is I'm looking for. I don't
And
know. She's gonna go
state
bowl
for
some bowling
bowling.
pins. Yep.
It's
So
a
you're
state tournament for bowling. It's going to
that's
be in
right.
Columbus, so
Everybody, let's all hope and pray for Casey. She's gonna do great. We just know it, know it. All right.
Yes.
That's right. Casey, Casey, Casey. But all the same or whatever, like I said, if you missed today, that's all right. Just tune in next weekend. We'll be back on every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Remember that, Eastern, not anything else. Eastern Standard Time. We will air exclusively on YouTube at 2 p.m. And there's a lot more stuff to discuss Passions. I mean, again, I may not have been watching that long, but I love the show enough to pick up on it and all that. And once again, if any of you out there know of ways that we can get in touch with these cast members, please pass it on to us. We really, really badly, we want to get cast members on here. We're going to keep trying. It's a lot of hard work, but I mean, as far as I know, Christopher Malecki, aka Spike, he has been willing to actually come back and give us a hand again. So I just don't know when that will be or whatever. But everybody else, we're trying. We're really, really, really trying to get more people on here. But if any of you are Passions fans, if you all liked the show and would like to share your experiences, I repeat what I said earlier. Like, subscribe, leave your name and a social media in the comment sections below. Casey and I
Pull a
will reach
thumbs
out
up.
to you. What's that?
Pull a thumbs up.
That's right. Please give us those thumbs way, way up. That's right. Get them way up there. That's right. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in. It was a great show today. We will end this off. I'm Joe Velasquez.
And Casey Metcalf.
And just remember, folks, you are our passion for life. Thank you. All right, all right, all right. Put your hands up. Thank you very much. Have a good night and hallelujah. Ha ha ha.